Hello everyone, welcome back and thank you so much for watching. Today, I'm in my camper. I'm going to be going over some of the things that we really like about it and some of the things that we don't like about it. We've been in this camper now for 2 years. It is a Jayco Jay Feather 24 BHM and we had the 23 BHM 2 years ago and upgraded to this one for a lot of the reasons of the things that I'm going to talk about that we really like. I'm going to start with some things that we really like about this camper. To start out with, the storage. In the 23 BHM, the storage was not very good. With the Murphy bed and the way that everything worked and folded, the storage, especially outside, was not very good. There wasn't very much of it and it wasn't very big. This camper solved a lot of those problems. So up front, there is a pass-through storage. It's awesome, it's huge. I keep the generator under there, I keep an easy up awning under there, some tools, the leveling blocks, kids' toys, all kinds of things under there. And I really like it. I'm glad that it's there. I don't have to worry about moving those things very often at all unless I need to. Inside, there's ample storage as well. There's cabinets above the sink for the plates. There's a pantry, two pantries actually, that are rather big, that my wife does a really good job of organizing with containers and things like that. There's a closet next to the bunks for the kids that we store all kinds of things in as well. There's almost too much storage. There's a couple that are kind of empty and bare because we just don't have a whole bunch of stuff in here. Which is good. I'm sure they'll get full over time. One of the main reasons that we liked this camper so much is the Dinette. It allows a whole bunch of people to sit around it and eat and talk and play games, which unlike some campers that you can just go in on either side of, the U allows more people to sit there. And also the couch that I'm sitting on, you can look at the Dinette and kind of still participate in what's going on in conversation and stuff. Again, unlike some that have just the go inside booths with the couch next to it and you can't really see each other and it's kind of awkward. But we really like this setup. You can't not talk about the bed, which is a Murphy bed. So you lay the couch down flat and then you unhook the bed and it folds down and you have your bed there. We like that setup because it keeps the camper a little bit shorter because you don't have a separate room for kind of the master bed. You get the couch that still faces the dinette, and then it all kind of goes out of the way pretty easily. We don't like having to set up a whole bunch of things when we get to the campsite, and the Murphy bed is pretty simple, right? You can throw it up in probably less than 30 seconds, which is really awesome. One of the really big upgrades that we liked was the size of the bunks in the back. On the 23 BHM, they were quite a bit narrower, but on the 24, they are almost the size of a single bed, which is pretty awesome for the boys, right? They're used to that size, and if an adult wanted to sleep back there, they would fit quite a bit better. Also, underneath the lower bunk is more storage, and you can lift up that bunk and fold it up and have even bigger storage if you wanted. There's a door to access it on the side. We store our dog kennel and gate down there and some of our chairs. So speaking of the bunks, the lower bunk has a fire escape window on it, which I understand why they have to put it there, but that window is fairly useless. You prop it open and it doesn't really stay open. And it's either all the way open or closed. So the ventilation back there, it kind of sucks for the person sleeping in the bottom bunk. But again, I understand why it's there. Just one of those things that I don't necessarily like about the camper, especially because there's a second door right next to the bunk. So I'm not really sure why they had to put one there, but I'm not going to argue. I understand. I'm going to stick with a couple things that I don't like. One of them being the shower doors. They're glass doors, they're curved and they slide together, and they need a band to keep them closed. Well, that band broke within about a week of us having the camper. Now we use my wife's hair ties to keep it closed, and we need about 2 to 3 of them to keep it closed well. We've already had to replace a few of the wheels, and it's just not an ideal setup. And staying in the bathroom, it's either hot or it's cold. There's no heating that's piped into the bathroom, so it doesn't get warm when it's cold and the heater's on. And then there's no AC that's piped into there for keeping it cool, which we don't really use the AC a whole lot anyway, but still it stays pretty hot or it's pretty cold. One of the things we've kind of started doing is propping it open, so then at night if the heater comes on, the air can kind of get into there. But it's kind of a shock when you go in the middle of the night to use the restroom and it's frigid. All right, these next two they're pretty nitpicky, but the top drawer in the kitchen is not really a drawer, it's just a flip down thing. And it's really hard to open. There's really no use for it. We've put stuff in there, and as you drive, it bounces and pops down into the lower drawer. So it's not really useful. I know why it's there. The piping for the kitchen and the sink keep it from having a full drawer, but I would have taken even a smaller drawer over the fold down thing. And then sticking with the drawers, the handles. Now the handles look really good. I like them. I would put them in my own kitchen. However, they're not great in the camper. It's hard to explain why, but like when you hold them and you try to pull, your fingers get stuck. At least my fingers get stuck in them, and they kind of pull on my fingers and pinch them a little bit. And again, nitpicky, but it's just one of those things, that it kind of bothers you when you're in your camper all summer. All right, back to some things that we really like about the camper. One of my favorite things, and something I was excited about, was 30-gallon propane tanks. I think all summer last year, and granted we didn't go camping as much as we had normally gone before, but I don't know if I filled up our propane tanks at all. I might have filled them up at the beginning of the season, and they're still going pretty strong. I think I'm still on my first one, so that's awesome. The 30-gallon propane tanks, they keep you out for a long time. And now this one, it might just be specific to me, but I really like having a ladder to the roof. Sometimes there's an awesome sunset and you want to go on the roof and see it. Maybe, like, I've wanted to put the solar panels on the roof, and so now I can easily climb up there and put them on instead of having to hop up silly and have people hand me the solar panels. So yeah, I really like having the ladder on the back, if anything, just to get up there and look around. This one is just pure luxury, but I love having an electric awning. Nothing is easier and nicer than just hitting a button and the awning goes out. And then if the weather's changing, or you're going to bed, or you're leaving for the day, you just hit a button and the awning goes in. I know my dad's camper, it's not an electric awning, and every year we're trying to remember how to open it and what little levers to click and what direction they have to be and where you have to pull from. So the electric awning just is so nice. I didn't know what to think about having 2 doors on the camper, one in back, one in front. I'm like, why do we need 2 doors? But I've actually come to really like it. If something's going on kind of up front and that door is blocked, then you can go out, you can go to the back one and go through that door. If you just need to pop in and use the restroom, you can use the back door. And you can have that one open and ventilation. It's nice having those 2 doors, even though I thought I wouldn't. We've come to actually really like them quite a bit. There's 2 more things that we really don't like about the camper, and these 2 things were on the last camper as well. The first one being the lights on the ceiling. They're so bright, which is awesome, but they're so bright, and they're either on or they're off. I really wish there was some way to dim them in the middle. And if you guys know how to do that, send me a link or something, tell me please, because I would love to try to dim these lights. It would be really nice. The last thing that we really don't like about the camper is probably the biggest thing we don't like, and that's the table. The way that the legs are set up and the system that it uses, it's just kind of annoying. When you get in, you hit your legs on it all the time. There's a middle bar that kind of keeps you from just being able to stretch out, and it's just not ideal. We don't fold the table down. Actually, on this camper, we've never folded the table down and made the dinette a bed. So yeah, the ease of doing that, it's not super important to us. So actually we're going to be modifying the table here in the next video, so make sure you stay tuned for that one. The last thing we like about our camper is the slide and the size of it. It's a huge slide. I've talked about the U dinette and how you can fit a lot of people in there, which is awesome. But once you open that slide, it gives you a lot of floor space as well. And you know, with 2 kids and 2 dogs, floor space is at a premium for sure. So we really like that. And one of the best parts is once that slide is all the way closed, you still have access to the entire camper. If you come through the main door, you can squeeze past the slide and still get to the sink and to the bathroom, which is really convenient, because I know there are some campers that once the slide is closed, you can't really access the camper anymore. So you've got to open the slide a little bit to be able to squeeze past, but that is not the case in this one, which is really awesome. So I know a lot of things that I just talked about aren't specific to just this camper. There are a lot of campers that probably have the same kind of handles or the same kind of lights and that come with 30-gallon propane tanks. I realize that, but just if you're watching and you don't have this camper, those are some things that you can think about as you're buying a camper. Do you like the handles? Do you like the way that the storage is oriented? Is there not enough storage? What kinds of things do you need to store that you would have to kind of consider as you're looking at a camper and the storage in it? So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you got something out of it. Let me know down below what you like about yours or what you don't like about yours. And until next time, have a good one.